Okay, 1 minute. Hi guys, hello, welcome to We Learn English. I hope all of you doing great again as usual. Glad to see so many of you here today. So Agnesh, Sayed, hi Vilas, hi Anushka, hi Priyani, hi Akash, hi Arpit, hello Siddhi. Great. I have to check the Menti quiz setup. I have not done the Menti quiz setup yet. I'll do it soon because I'm preparing content for Menti quiz. Uh, I'll, I'll I'll try to implement that soon. But let's learn the topic first. Okay. Yeah. Hi Daria cyclist. Perfect. Hi Suparna. Wonderful. So welcome to Vedantu, welcome to English, welcome to We Learn English. A warm welcome to all of you. The topic that we are doing today is one of the most challenging and one of the topics that is, quite in demand in terms of because it is challenging and of course it is asked quite often for your any kind of exam, be it your school level exam, competitive based exam. So this topic, degrees of comparison, is one of the most common topics and frequently asked topics. There are questions on that. And before we start the topic, if you haven't subscribed to We Learn English, go and hit that subscribe button right now. Click the bell icon as well so that you don't miss this amazing learning. It would be very sad that if you guys miss any amazing learning happening on this channel, be it academic English, be it personality development. So make sure you are subscribed. Those who are new to this channel, you subscribe to the channel here. For those who still don't know me yet, my name is Dheeraj Gabeja. You can see that on the image clearly. I'm a master teacher of English at Vedantu, and besides that, I have been teaching English for more than 9 years. More than an academic English teacher, I have been a communication coach for more than 3 years. I've trained 10,000 plus students. I've taught and mentored more than 10,000 students, and I've trained more than 1,000 people on their communication skills. So when I say communication skills, speak English better, faster, fluently, and learn to speak English like a native speaker with Dheeraj Kubeja, your master teacher at Vedantu. All right. So what is that? What is that we have in the topic now? Are we all ready to learn this topic here? Let's dive into the world of degrees of comparison. So, ladies and gentlemen, hold your breath, fasten your seatbelts, and let's dive together. Okay, so let's look at this. What is degrees of comparison? See, when we talk about degrees of comparison, look at the word comparison. Now, in our daily life, there are a lot of things we compare. Now, when we want to compare, you will either use an adjective or an adverb. So, this degrees of comparison is done for both. Like there are many grammar books or there are many sources which talk about degrees of comparison only for adjectives. But by the way, this could be new information for you guys, or maybe some of you already are kind of already know this or already aware of this, that degrees of comparison is for adverbs also. So there are three terms, as we all know, three types of degrees of comparison, as we all know: positive, comparative, superlative. All right, if you want me to say that in the accent here, we have got a positive degree, comparative degree, and superlative. So positive, comparative, superlative. That's what it is. So it is used to compare adjectives. What is an adjective? As we all know what an adjective is, just a quick recap here. You see, adjective is a word that is used to modify or describe a noun or pronoun. This is something we know. If you want to know about adjectives in detail, go and check out my video, Adjectives and its types. And then an adverb is a word that is used to modify an adjective, verb, or another adverb, one more adverb in a sentence. And degrees of comparison is used to compare adjectives and adverbs. So positive degree, comparative degree, superlative degree. That is basically mostly used for comparison. There are a lot of things we compare. We compare our marks, we compare our lifestyle, maybe right from your hairstyle to your lifestyle to the clothes we wear to maybe like nowadays we do a lot of comparison of smartphones, all of that. So that is what comparison is used for. So this topic, of course, it helps you academically. No doubt it helps you score better marks for any kind of exam. But more than academics, it helps you to speak better. Because once you are thorough with degrees of comparison, so in your spoken English, written English, whenever you want to bring about comparison, you want to talk about comparison, you will be able to do it flawlessly. All right. So this is one example. So if you talk about a big apple, now there could be another apple bigger than the previous one and the biggest one. So big, bigger, biggest, that's what we mean by positive, comparative, superlative. All right, you can repeat terms after me. Positive, comparative, superlative. Positive, comparative, superlative. Chalo, let's get started. So now before we do this, before we get into the learning of the topic together, I've got this riddle for you guys. Try to answer this riddle. Tell me which building has the most stories. Can you think about some building which has most stories, like the maximum number of stories in it? Tell me, try to answer this. Give your brain some warm-up exercise, because it's always wonderful that your mind and or your brain is charged up. It's like it's a quite warm up here. No answers? Burj Khalifa? No, no, no. More stories. It has more stories in it, not about it. So the building is a library. Of course, a library has a lot of stories, a lot of books in it. This was just a riddle about this. Wonderful, wonderful. So this is what we're talking about. So when we talk about degrees of comparison, there are 3 degrees: positive, comparative, superlative. You see, dimag ki batti jal gayi. When you know these terms here, positive, comparative, superlative, your brain is lit up now. Dimag ki batti jal gayi. Positive, comparative, superlative. Let's talk about this. So when we talk about the positive degree, let's understand what this is. If you have a question mark right now, let me help you here. So let's talk about positive degree here. Positive degree, in the positive degree, there is no comparison made at all. You see, for example, my bag is good. So the word good is an adjective that is used in positive degree. So there is no comparison. In comparative degree, comparison is made between two things or two people. Only two things or two people. So your bag is better than mine. So for example, if you have a bag which looks more attractive, so I say your bag is better than my bag, better than mine. And superlative degree is used where more than 2 degrees are compared. More than two things are compared. I'm sorry, not degrees, more than two things are compared. See, Kiran's bag is the best of all. Now here we have more than two. If there is only two, it will be comparative on its own. But if it's more than two, it's going to be superlative. And before a superlative degree, we always use the article the. Mostly we use the article the. So we don't say Kiran's bag is best of all. We say the best. That's what it is. So positive degree has no comparison at all. It simply talks about any particular thing, some particular thing or some particular person. Comparative degree, the word itself makes it very clear. There is a comparison between two people. You see, it is clearly there between two things or two people, only two. And when there is a superlative, it's more than two. Now, more than two could be as many as possible. It's simply more than two when more than two things or more than two people are compared. Okay. I hope this is clear, guys. Tell me how clear this is in the chat box. Give me a thumbs up there if you're clear. If you're crystal clear with this part here, make sure you give a thumbs up to the video by hitting the like button there. A like thumbs up. Yeah. So this is clear. Chalo, theek hai. One more riddle. Hey guys, I have started liking riddles, so I thought you may also like it here. One more riddle. Tell this here. Check this out. I do not have wings, but I can fly. I don't have eyes, but I will cry. What am I? Tell me this. There is something that does not have wings, but it can fly. And the same thing does not have eyes, but it can cry. It may cry. So what it is? Okay, Ravinder has answered clouds. Anyone else? Anyone else wants to guess? Cloud. Okay, perfect. Superb. Yeah, you all of you have got this correct. Bingo. Give me a high five, all of you. Give me a high five. A quick high five. Wonderful. Chalo, theek hai. So first we will look at comparison of adjectives because I told you the degrees of comparison is applicable for both adjectives as well as adverbs. First we will see how the comparison is done for an adjective. What is an adjective? A word that qualifies or modifies a noun or a pronoun. So look at this first example. Raju is a tall boy. Sibu is taller than Raju. Devu is the tallest among them. You see, there's a group of three friends here. The three idiots. There are these three idiots. The first one is Raju, then Sibu, and Devu. I'm just saying the names here. So if you see in the first sentence, the adjective tall simply tells that Raju is tall and there is no comparison at all. Okay. In the second sentence, if you see the adjective taller, there is a clear comparison between Sibu and Raju's height. And in the third one, I'm trying to say Debu is compared to more than two. If you see here, Debu is compared, of course, we're talking about the entire group here. So the word tallest, that Debu is the tallest of the three boys. You see, because it is more than two. That's why we're using superlative the tallest. If you see, thus in the above sentences, we can see change in the forms of adjective. The adjective tall is positive degree, taller is comparative, and the tallest is superlative degree. So this is about adjectives. One of the adjectives. Tall is an adjective, right? An example of adjective. Yeah, I know it should be Raju, Farhan, and Funso Guangdu, but then, okay, I thought of changing the names here. Perfect, perfect. Yeah, nouns or pronouns. An adjective modifies a noun or a pronoun. Not only a noun or not only a pronoun. So Raju is a tall boy. Cebu is taller than Raju. Debu is the tallest. Okay, Rihan, wonderful. I hope this is clear. The comparison of adjectives. Perfect, perfect. Now let's take a look at comparison of adverbs. What is an adverb, guys? The word adverb means the word adverb qualifies or basically it modifies a verb, an adjective, or another adverb in a sentence. That's what an adverb is. Look at the word itself. Adverb, adverb. It adds something to the meaning of the verb. It gives us more information about the verb, adjective, or another adverb. Even for adverbs, there are three degrees here. The same thing: positive, comparative, superlative. So how's that? Some adverbs, if you see, of one syllable, they take er for comparative and the suffix est for superlative. Adverbs which are for just of one syllable. Adverbs of one syllable. When I say one syllable, for example, when we pronounce the word fast, I am not saying faster. It has just one syllable, just one unit of pronunciation. Fast, hard, late. If you clearly want to know what a syllable is, if you look at the word Vedantu, the word Vedantu has three syllables. Ve, Dan, Tu. Like three units of pronunciation. You can break it into three units. But in the word fast is just one syllabic. So it is faster, fastest. For example, I run fast. My brother runs faster. But my best friend runs the fastest. So hard, harder, hardest. You see? These can be used as adverbs also. Late, later, last. Okay? Yeah, look at this here. There are some adverbs which can be changed by using the word more and most and using ly as a suffix. So beautifully is already there. The words which end in ly as a suffix. So beautifully, I cannot write beautifully. So of course there is nothing like that. So that will be wrong English. So of course I have to use the word more or most. So beautifully, more beautifully, most beautifully. Same with adjectives also, right? So we have adjectives which we can change with er or est. That is tall, taller, tallest, hard, harder, hardest, strong, strongest, strongest. But there are some adjectives where we have to use more or most, right? So beautifully, more beautifully, most beautifully. Clearly, more clearly, most clearly. Loudly, more loudly, most loudly. Quickly, more quickly, most quickly. Yeah. So this is how the change of degree for adverbs is using the word more for comparative and using the word most for superlative. Okay. Let's talk about this one. There are some adverbs and adjectives which can be changed irregularly. Now, what do we mean by irregularly? Neither by er and est nor by more or most. Like the word itself changes. See, look at this here. Bad, I'm not saying badder, I'm not saying more bad, but the word itself changes. So, bad, worse, worst. Far, farther, farthest. You see, we're talking about distance here. I'm not using further, that's farther. Farthest. There's a here, F-A-R-T-H-E-R. Little, less, least. Much, more, most. So among these three, if you see, the word far and the word much and the word little, they can be used as both adjectives and adverb. Depends on the context. Okay? Yeah. They can be used as both. They can be used as an adjective also. They can be used as an adverb also. And that's how they are changed irregularly. Yeah. I hope this is clear, guys. Tell me how clear this is. If this is crystal clear, like the video now and tell me in the chat. Okay, Akash has a question, the superlative form of late. No, so when you use late, it's actually, okay, late, later. So Akash, to answer your question, so look at this here. The word, when you talk about the word late, for example, if I say he was late, if it is used as an adverb, so it is last. If it is used as an adverb, see, late, he was late. For example, if I say Dheeraj was late, Akash came later than Dheeraj. Okay. And then if I say Pankaj was the last, I will not say the latest. Latest will be when you use it as an adjective. Latest is used as an adjective. The latest model. We say the latest model. But that's a different meaning. Okay, Akash, I hope that answers your question. No, we simply say the latest news. The latest news. As we have old, older, oldest. Yeah. Similarly, if you want to talk about the word late in the superlative form, so it is example would be the latest news or the latest update. That's what I'm saying. It will be the latest if you want to use it as an adjective. But if you want to use it as an adverb, it will be late. Sorry, last. If you want to use it as an adverb, it will be last. As an adverb, it will be last. As an adjective, it will be latest. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, now we will talk about the transformation of it. Now we will see how is that we change the degree. How is that we change the sentences using degrees of comparison. First of all, let's look at these constant words. What is this constant words? See, a constant word for positive degree is as. Constant word for comparative is then. And the constant word for superlative is the. Why am I calling these constant words? Because these words will always be used. These words will always be used when you're changing a sentence to a positive degree. And when we change it to a comparative degree, then will always be used. When we change it to a superlative degree, the is always used. Okay. So we'll check this now. How? Now look at these two scenarios, guys. Look at these two scenarios. If you look at what we have at the top, look at this here. What we have at the top is the event when only two things are compared. Okay, so we have two categories first. In the first category, if you see, we will talk about how is the comparison done between only two things. Okay, so when we want to change the degree of the sentences which has only two things. And the second category is where more than two things are compared. So we are going to use this table. So I'm going to make this topic super shortcut for you. Super shortcut and the easiest. Okay. So first we are going to talk about when only two things are compared. Okay. So pay attention, all of you. The most important part of the topic starts now. Guys, all of you pay attention. The most important part of the topic So 100% attention here on the slides. Do not talk about random things here. We will not chat about other things later, and try to get you 100% attention here. 100% attention. Ready? Do I have 100% attention, guys? Do I have your 100% attention right now? Tell me in the chat box. Okay, perfect. So with 100% attention, let's learn this. See, when we talk about the comparison between two things, only and only two things are compared. These are the steps we have to follow. Look at this here. These are the steps we have to follow. We'll check this. We'll check this how. See, for example, look at this example. Dairy milk is tastier than Kit Kat. Now, some of you may not agree, but then I personally find a plain Dairy Milk chocolate, tastier than Kit Kat. So, if you see, this is clearly a comparative degree because the word tastier is used, tastier than. Now, why have I highlighted than? Because that's the constant word for comparative. Okay, we clearly know this is a comparative degree. Now, when only two things are compared, guys, please remember, when only two things are compared, superlative degree is not possible. I cannot make a superlative degree here. I cannot use the tastiest because there are only two things. So superlative is not possible. So the only option is I have to make it positive. Change it to positive degree. So look at this here. Kit Kat is not as tasty as Dairy Milk. That's how the answer will be. What are the steps we are following? First of all, we swap the two things or two places, whatever it is. In this case, it is two things. Dairy Milk is the first thing, Kit Kat is the second thing. We swap it. That is, we change their position, we interchange. So, in the place of, the sentence ends with Kit Kat, here our answer starts with Kit Kat. Here the question starts with Dairy Milk, our answer ends with Dairy Milk. That's why we swap it, we interchange. Then we change the degree. Of course, tastier changes to tasty, comparative to tasty, comparative to positive, tastier to tasty. The most important change, guys, pay attention here. All of you, check this out. The third one, I'm highlighting this here. The most important change is if it's a positive sentence, it will change to a negative sentence. Affirmative. I'm talking about a sentence, guys. I'm not talking about a degree here. If the sentence is already affirmative, affirmative means what? Positive. It will be negative. The sentence will change to negative, and vice versa. If it is negative, you will make it positive. We'll understand this with examples. So when I say Dairy Milk is tastier than Kit Kat, if you clearly see the degree is comparative. Pay attention, all of you. Degree is comparative, but the sentence is positive. Why the sentence is positive? Because there is no negative word here. So I have to make sure my answer is in the negation. So Kit Kat is not as tasty as Dairy Milk. You see? So if Kit Kat is not as tasty as Dairy Milk, this of course means Dairy Milk is tastier than Kit Kat. We do not have to change the meaning. Always remember, we do not have to change the meaning. We have to change the degree without changing the meaning. So that is only possible if I make the sentence negative. If there is a positive sentence, I make it negative. If the sentence is already negative, I make it positive. So look at this here. Yahoo is not as good as Google. This is a positive degree, but a negative sentence. A positive degree, but a negative sentence because the negation not is used. Now, when I have to make it comparative, Google is better than Yahoo. Of course, Google is faster, better. I'm sure most of you, all of you will agree to this. So if I say Yahoo is not as good as Google, this is already a positive degree, but a negative sentence because of the negation not, right? And I have to make it positive. I have to make it a positive sentence and a comparative degree. So Google is better than Yahoo. You see? Is this clear, guys? When only two things are compared, this is how degree is changed. Tell me how clear this is in the chat box for all of you. I'll do a quick recap of, I'll just repeat this one more time. I'll do a quick recap here. Check this. When only two things are compared, these are the steps we have to follow. These are the steps we have to follow. First of all, we will swap the two things or two places or people, whatever it is. Any two places or any two people, they are kind of compared. We will change the degree, of course. But the most important step, guys, this third one is the most important step. If the sentence is positive, you have to make it negative. I'm talking about the sentence, not the degree. If the sentence is positive, that means affirmative. Affirmative or positive is one and the same thing. So you have to make it negative. So Dairy Milk is tastier than Kit Kat. The degree is comparative here, but the sentence is positive. And now when I change it to the positive degree, I swap the two things. So my answer starts with Kit Kat. So Kit Kat is not as tasty as. You see, the degree has become positive, but the sentence is negative. The degree is positive, the sentence is negative. Look at the second one. Yahoo is not as good as Google. The sentence is negative because of the word not, but the degree is positive. Now when I change it to a comparative degree, I have to make sure I make the sentence positive. I remove the negation here. So Google is better than Yahoo. Okay. Perfect, perfect, perfect. If this is crystal clear for all of us, if this is crystal clear for all of us, type a yo in the chat box. Type a yo and like the video right now. I hope this is clear when only two things are compared. Akash, whatever you have written is correct. Yes. Okay. Perfect. 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 So this is clear for all of us now. So I'll move ahead. I'll move ahead. Okay. Let's move ahead with the topic. So this is of course only two things are compared. There are only two things are compared. Now let's talk about when there are more than two things compared. Guys, more than two things compared. So when there are more than two things compared, under that we have two types here. Under that we have two types. The first one and the second one. Look at this table carefully. All of us, look at this table carefully. Now I would need your 200% attention. Okay, because this is even more important. Chalo, pay attention. 100% attention. Let's pay attention here. Okay, look at this here. Now this is the first example. If you see, Burj Khalifa is the tallest building in the words. Sorry. So there's a spelling error here. That's okay. I'll change it right now. So if I say Burj Khalifa is the tallest building in the world. Now if you clearly see this sentence, if you clearly see this sentence is superlative degree. Burj Khalifa is the tallest building in the world. This is clearly a superlative degree. So I'm talking about the option one. Ignore this one. Ignore the second one. Ignore whatever is written here, the second uh, category. Let's talk about the first one, the first type here. So if I say Burj Khalifa is the tallest building in the world, this is superlative. Now I have to make this comparative. I have to make this comparative. So these are the options used. Look at this here. You will use this option. So Burj Khalifa is taller than any other building, all other buildings. This is used for comparative. So this is what you will use. Then is anyway used because then is a constant word. So with then you will either use any other or all other. So Burj Khalifa is taller than any other building or all other buildings. That is comparative degree. Now if I want to make it positive, these are the two options. You start your sentence with no other or no thing. Then you use the constant word that is as. So look at this here. No other building is as tall as Burj Khalifa. That becomes a positive degree. The words that I've highlighted in red, these are the options that we have. I've got this shortcut table for you guys. This table makes it shortcut. This is the first type. First type under the comparison of more than two things. When there are more than two things compared. Of course, Burj Khalifa is compared to all other buildings in the world. So of course, there's more than two. See? I hope this is clear now. So this is the first type, where such an example is used, where Burj Khalifa is the tallest building. But then there is a second type also, where one of the is used. Let's look at the second one. Now we are going to discuss the second one. Let's look at this here. Now we are going to discuss the second one. All of you, pay attention. So one of the, I'm saying Dairy Milk is one of the tastiest chocolates. Because if you see, there are many chocolates and Dairy Milk is one of the tastiest. Observe the difference carefully. Observe the difference carefully. In the first type, I'm saying Burj Khalifa is the tallest. In the second type, I'm saying Dairy milk is one of the tastiest. I'm not saying the tastiest. I'm saying one of the tastiest. So it has a different meaning now. It has a different meaning. Here, the meaning is dairy milk is tasty. It is one of the tastiest chocolates, but there are other chocolates also at the same level. So look at this here. This is superlative degree. Now I'm making it comparative. So this is the option that will be used. Then plus many other. So there's a plus sign missing here. I'll add it right now. So there will be then. With then you will use, don't use then, it's than. The comparative is than. So of course with then you will use many other or most other. You see, dairy milk is tastier than many or most other chocolates. That's comparative. And then when you want to make it positive, look at the option, it changes. Very few or not many. So very few chocolates or not many chocolates are as tasty as dairy milk. So this as will also be should be highlighted in red. As tasty as. This is for the second type. So I hope this is clear now for all of us. So very few chocolates are as tasty as dairy milk. That's the option we are using for positive degree here. Yeah, this much is sufficient for any class, be it for 9th grade or 10th grade. Okay. So tell me guys how clear this is. Okay, I'll just explain this again. Do you want me to explain this again? This is clear. When two things are compared, this is clear. Do you want me to explain this part again? When more than two things are compared? And under that we have two types. Just send me in the chat box if you want me to explain this one more time. Okay, for some of you, you're requesting to explain this one more time. Okay, I'll do a quick recap here. So this is for when more than two things are compared. Quickly take a screenshot of this table. These are the options we are using. These are the options we are using. So when there are more than two things compared, again there are two types here. When there are more than two things compared, the first category, see, first of all, don't get confused. I'll make it very clear. These are the constant words we are using. Okay, as is a constant for positive, then is a constant for comparative, the is a constant for superlative. So this part is clear. Okay. Now under degrees of comparison, when we want to change the sentences, when we want to change the degree of sentences, it can be done in two ways. There are two categories. There are two categories. A category, B category. A category, B category. So the A category is when there are two things compared. You see, there are only and only two things compared. And the B category is when more than two things compared. So when there are only two things compared, we have already taken example of this. Dairy Milk and KitKat and Yahoo and Google. This is clear. I've repeated this twice and I hope this is clear for all of us here. This is the A category. Now in the B category, where there are more than two things compared, in the B category, there are two types. The first type and the second type. So in the first type, these are the options we are using. In the second type, these are the options we are using. There is a change in the meaning. They're not the same. There is a change in the meaning. So this is the example of the first type. This is the first example of the first type. So when I say Burj Khalifa is the tallest building in the world, this is superlative. Now if I want to make this comparative, this is the option that will be used. Then plus any other or all other. So Burj Khalifa is taller than any other building or all other buildings. All other buildings because it is plural. Okay. And then for positive, you'll see no other building is as tall as Burj Khalifa. If you're using any other, you will use building. If you're using all other here, you will say buildings because of course the word all is plural. That's for comparative. Perfect. Now in this B category, there is a second type, which is this one, where we have one of the option that is used. So look at the change in the meaning. Look at the difference in the meaning. I'm saying Dairy Milk is one of the tastiest chocolates. Here I was saying, here the example is saying Burj Khalifa is the tallest building in the world. That means there is no other building as tall as Burj Khalifa. पूरी दुनिया में सबसे tall building ये है. But यहाँ पे there is a change in meaning. There is a difference in meaning here. I'm not saying Dairy Milk दुनिया का सबसे टेस्टी चॉकलेट है. आई एम नॉट सेइंग डेयरी मिल्क दुनिया का सबसे टेस्टी चॉकलेट है. आई एम सेइंग डेयरी मिल्क कुछ चॉकलेट्स में से सबसे ज्यादा टेस्टी है. मतलब देयर आर अदर चॉकलेट्स आल्सो जो डेयरी मिल्क जितने ही टेस्टी है. आई एम ट्राइंग टू एक्सप्लेन दिस इन हिंदी. देयर आर अदर चॉकलेट्स एज वेल which are as tasty as dairy milk. That's what the meaning is. That's why I'm saying one of the tastiest. You see, dairy milk is one of the tastiest chocolates. This is superlative degree. Now, of the second type, when I'm making it comparative, it is then plus many other or most other. So dairy milk is tastier than many other chocolates or most other chocolates, comparative. But I'm making it positive. When I have to make it positive, I cannot use the option no other. I have to use this, very few. So very few or not many. Very few or not many chocolates are as tasty as dairy milk. Perfect. So that's about the two types under this B category. I hope it is clear now, crystal clear. I hope we are rocking the topic together. If it is crystal clear, make sure you like the video right now, share it with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel without any delay. Crystal clear. So it is crystal clear here. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right. So let's look at the last three examples before we end the topic. Let's look at these last three examples here. Look at the first one, Antarctica. Antarctica, if you see, is the coldest place on the earth. So if I say Antarctica is the coldest place on the earth, this is superlative degree. And if I change it, so no other place on the earth is as cold as Antarctica, positive, because this is of the first type under category B, the coldest I'm saying. And if I have to make it comparative, you see, Antarctica is colder than any other place or all other places on the earth. You see? And look at the second example where only two things are compared. This is the A category where only two things are compared. Android is better than iOS. Now, I don't know how many of you agree to this. I personally like Android more than iPhone, like more than iOS. So I'm saying Android is better than iOS. Some of you might disagree and say the other way around, iOS is better than Android. The choice is yours. This is just an example. Android is better than iOS. This is clearly a comparative degree. That's why I'm saying iOS is not as good as Android. So better, changes to as good as, and it is made negative. You see, it is made negative. Look at the third one. Hulk is one of the strongest superheroes. How many of you like Hulk? I like Hulk. I like Hulk. How many of you like Hulk? Tell me in the chat box. So if I say Hulk is one of the strongest superheroes, this is type B, category B, but type 2. Okay, there I'm saying one of the strongest. So look at the options that will change. Hulk is stronger than many other or most other superheroes. This becomes comparative. And the positive degree would be very few superheroes or not many superheroes are as strong as Hulk. You see? So the first sentence is of type 1 under category B, where I'm saying it is the coldest. Yeah. And the third example is of the same category, that is category B, but the second type, one of the strongest. I'm not saying the strongest, one of the strongest. And the second example is of the first category, the A category, where only two things are compared. Android is better than iOS, comparative. So here superlative is not possible. Of the second example, guys, superlative is not possible. Can you tell me why is superlative not possible? I have a question for all of you. In this second example, why the superlative degree is not possible? Hey, don't worry, you will get the PDF. You will get the PDF. I'll make sure the download link for the link to download PDF will be in the description box. Don't worry about that. Yeah. My question is why is superlative degree not possible here for the second example? When I say Android is better than iOS, comparative is okay, positive is possible. Why is superlative degree not possible? Why can't I use the best here? Can we answer this? Tell me your answer in the chat box. Because yeah, it is perfect. Akshay has answered it correctly. Even Akash has, that there are only two things compared. So Android is the first thing, iOS is the second thing. Only and only two things. So when there is a comparison between only two things, only and only two things, superlative degree is not possible. Perfect, perfect, perfect. That's all about the first session, guys. We are done with the first session of this topic, Degrees of Comparison Part 1. In the second session, we will practice more and more examples. I hope all of you enjoyed learning this topic, and this is one of the most challenging and one of the most confusing topics. I hope this is super clear for all of you. And with the shortcut method, I got that shortcut method for all of you. I hope this is crystal clear. And the next time you want to use this topic for your marks, of course, you score full marks, and this will help you to become a better speaker and better writer as well, because there's a lot of comparison made when we speak and we write. So thanks for watching this video. If you really if you really find the video to be useful, make sure you like it. Leave your valuable comments. Do not forget to share this video with people who are not clear with this topic, or share all the videos possible. Ask them to subscribe as well, because the more subscribers we will have, the more learning, the more enthusiasm, the better the channel. So that's it. You were learning Degrees of Comparison Session 1 with Dheeraj Gabeza, your master teacher. We'll see you all in the second session. So take care of yourself, stay healthy, stay fit. Until next time, bye-bye.